90 minutes in Bilbao will decide more than a trophy. Win and United bank a fat European payday. Lose and the accountants start slapping price tags on our best players. The stakes, a joyous summer of squad building or a brutal clear out that turns June into a funeral march. Sir, let's preview Manchester United's next match, the Europa League Final against Tottenham Hotspur, a true battle of the bastards at the San Mamés in Bilbao. How we doing? You ready for this big as they get match coming up on Wednesday?
It's been a rough season. It all comes down to Wednesday, May 21st, noon Pacific. It is Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United. Obviously, we have the history on our side. We're used to winning silverware, even when we're bad. Erik ten Hag, 2 cups.
Unbelievable.
But this European Cup, there's tons of pressure. United need the win. They need the money. We need Champions League football. There's almost too much on the line. And the fact this is an English club. We've struggled in England. We've lost to Tottenham 3 times already this year. Can we turn it around? Are United ready? Is Amram ready?
Is Amram ready? Is this team ready? And like you said, have we put too much on the line? The stakes are almost too high. This is the biggest game since Fergie's retired. I mean, there's never been more of a what it would look like with and without victory. What does summer look like if we win this cup? What does summer look like without winning this cup? It will be brutal and truly night and day difference. And that's why I'm wearing this kit, sir. 1990 FA Cup winner. Turned things around for Sir Alex Ferguson. Heat was on. 13th place finish, but they pulled it out. A special one against yesterday's winner, Crystal Palace, in the final. Got the cup, bottom time, and I'm hoping we can channel a little of that magic because I feel like we shouldn't worry lads as Tottenham, but I feel like Spurs are due. Spurs are due, and United are a bad United team. We're fortunate to be in the final in the first place. Fortunate to be final in the first place. Battle of the bastards, sir. 2 worst teams in the Premier League that aren't getting relegated are playing in the final on Wednesday.
Yeah, and for Manchester United, it means quite a bit. It's all about the money. The club has PSR problems, right? Sir Jim, the buyout, spending all the money last summer hasn't worked out. Tons of players on loans, don't have attackers, hired a new manager, plays a new system. He will only play that system. He needs new players to fill that system. The only way we can do it is this get out of jail free card. It is highway robbery. It is going to be the Europa League final. Like you said, San Mamés Stadium, Wednesday, May 21st, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't like Tottenham, but I don't consider them a rival. Only this year, sir, because they're so low in the table with us.
They are low in the table. I think we called it the Battle of the Bastards early in this season because we were both not playing well. That has continued through up until the final, late May. Can't believe the final for the Europa League is earlier than the Conference League final. I don't know who decided that. Some talking points headed into this big match. Doesn't need any more kind of a build-up, but it's the first European meeting ever between the 2 clubs since 1899. Unbelievable stuff. First all-English final since Chelsea beat Arsenal in 2019 in the Europa League. And like you said, the drought. United are going, we're 1 year since our last piece of silverware in the FA Cup final last year that even got us in the Europa League. Spurs haven't won anything since 2008, haven't won anything in Europe since 1984. So they've got quite a drought. That's what gives you the most angst. Other than the fact this team's a bunch of bluffers and we can't hit the press out of a barn. They're due, sir. And it makes me have a lot of agita heading into this game.
Yeah, and United do have some history in the Europa League. We need to avenge the Villarreal final. David De Gea missing the final pen. Ole leprechaun suit, the whole 9. That was a downfall of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I feel like could it be, we've seen this movie before, could it be the downfall of Amram not getting to this final, not winning it, having a horrid season. I mean, him and Sir Jim, apparently Sir Jim's nervous about what Amram might do if he doesn't have the money to rebuild the squad. So lots of questions around United. It's almost like there is too much on the line in this match, sir. But like you mentioned, we're playing at the San Mamés Arena, nicknamed La Catedral, sir, the cathedral. It sits on the bank of a beautiful river in Bilbao. It was rebuilt in 2013. It has a sleek bowl. It holds over 53,000. We just played there against Bilbao. Quite the atmosphere. The ground, basically, it's open. It faces the corner of the city. You can see the skyline in Bilbao. It can create some wind going through the stadium, pushing high balls. Lindelof, if he plays, we got to be worrying about that as well. So it's a great stadium, great atmosphere. Going to be tons of traveling Reds, tons of traveling Tottenham supporters as well.
No, this is basically a dream. It's a dream final. It's like a choice city, northern Spain, beautiful time of the year. If you can get yourself a hotel and a ticket, it's a great place to be. The weather should be fine. looking for match day, low 60s, chance of rain. It's going to be a Wednesday night kickoff, like we've been talking about, 8 p.m. local time. So low 60s, chance of rain. And we're eating well. We're in the Basque region of Spain. And when we're in the Basque region of Spain, is we eat as the Basque do, sir. So I get myself some of that, Basque steakhouse over charcoal with some olive oil,
Unbelievable, sir.
French fries, and some jamon iberico, sir. The simple things they get at Rioja. And let's have something to celebrate. Let's have a reason to celebrate after this final, because it's going to be a big one. And like you said, Bilbao is going to be stretched to the limits. Absolutely, just never seen anything like it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're fighting for? I'm telling you about. We're talking about the Europa League, the premier cup for Manchester United fans these days. Like you said, we have something to avenge with a Villarreal final. That should sit very, very cutely in the minds of Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw, Victor Lindelof, all players that might feature or should feature in this final, and had to lose it, 4 or 5 years ago.
And Lindelof bottled it with that defensive mismark on Villarreal. Watching the header go into the goal, so let's hope it's not going to be similar to that Villarreal final. Extra time, penalties. We don't need that. We don't need penalties on the cards.
Do us in the 90. Europa League began life as the Intercities Fair Cups in 1955, a tournament devised to promote European trade fairs. And then UEFA took it over in 1971, relaunching it as the UEFA Cup, and then rebranded again in 2009 to boost its profile and merge in the Toto Cup qualifiers. So they've been shifted around in terms of how the tournament is lined up. It once used to be a straight knockout with a 2-leg final. The competition has now added mini legs, which started in 2004. It was renamed the Europa League, like we mentioned, in 2009. And then last year, they did a Swiss-style league phase, 36 teams, 8 games each. And from that season on, the reigning champs
more games. That's basically UEFA's coming, and this is where the Super League tension is, where UEFA's pushing more games in European competition on teams, which I don't think we needed. I thought 6, the group stage format, I prefer that. It's like 8 games too many in Europe from my perspective. But look, it's a cash grab, sir.
And I don't think, like you said, the games they added, this was the first year with it, I don't think it made it better. Like, I don't think the lack of the groups and this kind of running group tally made anything more competitive. It actually made it more confusing, and it kind of just dragged. Money, we heard about the money, and this has been a thing. As soon as United has a chance to bail out their season 2 years in a row, people are talking and crying foul. It's been since 2014 that you automatically get placed into the next season Champions League. We're talking big dollars, talking £100 million. In TV money, prize money, and match day income. So a big deal for United. And then the Spaniards, they have a great track record. The Spanish teams lifted the trophy a record 14 times. Sevilla accounting for 7 of those. So we're playing in Spain. We're not playing a Spanish team, but we do have a little bit of history playing in the San Mamés and scoring goals. The thing I give the most concern about this United team is scoring goals. But hey, 4 goals in Spain. Hopefully we can replicate that against big bad Spurs. So tell me about Tottenham Hotspur, big bad team from North London.
Let's get to the opponents. Tottenham, they were founded in 1882. Their badge is the cockerel, sir, standing on the Latin motto, Adere est facere, to dare is to do. I did take Latin in high school. It did not help me at all with speaking English, sir. Spurs, they were the first British club to lift a European trophy. They thrashed Atletico Madrid 5-1 in the 1963 Cup Winners' Cup final, so they do have some European history, but it's in history, sir. Their European haul has stopped at 3, 63, 72, and 84, and the last piece of any silverware came in 2008. Everybody's talking about 2008. That's the last trophy Spurs won. Essentially, Ange, they're hoping that he can be the man to bring him to the glory, because he wins a trophy in his second year. That's kind of the whole motto. Ange Postecoglou, he's probably going to get fired. One team, managers on the outs. If he wins the trophy, could save his job. One manager just got in the door, could win the trophy, save his job.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what it takes to be in a cup final of this magnitude. It is a big deal, Europa League, regardless of the money. It's still a big deal. It's a big cup to win, especially for your clubs like United and Spurs on their back heel. But especially given where we are in the league, right? They're in 17th place, somehow worse than United, even though they've had our number all season long. Like John mentioned earlier, beat us twice in the league, as well as beating us once, I believe, in the Carabao Cup. So tough things going. They finished fifth last season. So
yeah, we conceded a lot of goals against them when we played them. They're currently in 17th, 1 point behind United in 16th. like you said, truly a battle of the bastards. Or tell us about Ange Postecoglou.
Ange, Greek-born, Melbourne-raised coach, is the first Australian ever to manage the Premier League and will be the first to win a major trophy if Spurs triumph in Bilbao. He's a serial winner all over the world, on the far reaches of areas of, the global continent that are not usually considered sporting hotbeds for football.
Japan,
but
Australia,
Exactly.
national team as well. Went to Celtic. So he's a veteran. He's got here through meritocracy, which is great to see. And he has not been doing well. He's been hurting.
No, they've been having a terrible season, just like United. I mean, like I said, they're so bad, they're worse than us in the league.
And he's uncompromising in his setup as well, right? He will not change it. Bash your head against the wall. So the two managers who are inflexible are down at the bottom of the table.
And they both won't bend, right? So it's going to be like two rigid approaches. He's got a we never stop mantra, no excuses. They like to play high line, high cadence. And like you said, that's an opportunity for United to get at it. Let's get into the stylings. He likes to do a 2-3-5, three at the back, inverted fullbacks, and tuck midfielders into possession, forming a 2-3 base and flooding the central lanes. High line, like I said, they like the front foot press, so they're going to be all over United. It's going to be a really challenge for us to play out the back. That's going to be an interesting thing to look at. I think we'll revert to hoofball early. And last but not least, is high risk, high reward philosophy. You've seen this a lot of times with Spurs this season in the league, is like even when they're in a position where they shouldn't be, they're still pushing for goals. And if they're down and out, they expose themselves even more. So we will have opportunities to get in behind them. It's just that, can they pick us off early because they're dangerous and they have much better scoring boots. Like I said, they're the top scorer outside the top 6 in the EPL. So, they have defensive frailties that probably doomed them in the league this season.
Yeah, but tactically they match up well with United because they're going to come out and be aggressive and there's going to be space in behind to exploit, right? This is almost where Marcus Rashford, we've seen him kind of hit Spurs on the counter in the past under the days of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We've also seen Garnacho do very well to get in behind with his pace. Hasn't really come off finishing teams, but I feel like that danger is critical for this match. Obviously against Chelsea, Mount and Ahmad started in the 10s, and then Garnacho is on the bench. It'll be interesting to see what Amram does there, but I think a player like Garnacho is what you need, that raw pace and power to get in behind and kind of keep Tottenham honest as they're pressing up the field. United's back 5. They're going to have a job to do, right? Absorbing that pressure early on. Tottenham, there's going to be emotions are high. The first 20 minutes are going to be coming at United. We need to lock it down. Back post crosses. We need the wing backs and the center backs to be in good communication, not leave unmarked headers like Cucurella on the back post. I feel like we've been very vulnerable there as players kind of slip in between. And then obviously, Casemiro going to start. The midfield too. Is it going to be Ugarte and Casemiro? Is it going to be Casemiro and Bruno? Regardless, Casemiro's going to have a lot of work to do. When the wing backs are pushing up the field, he's got to come in and clean up things in the channel. And I feel like Brennan Johnson, obviously Son, there's going to be a lot of dangerous players. United have to be locked on as a defensive line, and we haven't been. We've conceded lots of goals to Spurs, and we haven't been scoring a lot, right? That's a dangerous combination. But look for Spurs to come at us early. Look for United to play route one over the top, and it's going to be like two people in the middle of the ring just bashing each other's heads in.
And it's who can convert. I think that's going to be the difference for United is we need to limit the damage. They're going to score, but let's just make sure we don't give away goals. A lot of the goals we've given this season is we've given teams good chances. We turn the ball over in really dangerous spots of the pitch. We hoof it to nowhere, and all of a sudden they're on the attack within a couple of seconds, and we need to avoid doing that. That's where you need the senior folks, the guys who have been there before, the Casemiros, the Brunos, the Maguires to keep their heads and just try and control the pace of the game because they're going to want to play at a frantic pace, and they have big-time players that are really dangerous in that attack. Let's get into their dangerous players. Number 1 on the board is Kulusevski, but he is injured, thankfully, knock on wood, for the final. He got his knee. Also, Maddison is out for the final. But other than that, it looks to be like all their big players.
Kulusevski had surgery. He is 100%.
No.
You don't have to knock on wood.
I'm knocking on wood that I didn't jinx us the fact that we're going to lose anyway with two of their best attacking players out.
So the way you lose this game is because they signed Solanke and we signed Højlund. That's the way you lose this game.
Yeah, we're not going to score.
Right? Like we signed it. They signed a proper striker as EPL proven, and we signed Højlund. That could be a reason we lose. Solanke, he's dangerous. He's going to challenge our center backs. Obviously, they're wingers, but Maddison and Kulusevski out edge United on injuries. Like Euro, De Ligt, having to play Lindelof, not ideal, but I feel like United have the better edge on injuries here.
Yeah, and this is going to be who takes their chances. Both teams are going to have opportunities. Both teams are going to be sloppier than they want to be because that's just the nature of where we are at the moment. If you look at us in the league, so it's who takes their chances and who controls the moment better. Let's get into recent performances. Like I said, it hasn't been great. Lost to Villa yesterday or 2 days ago when we played as well. They lost to Palace. They did beat Bodo Glimt to get themselves in the final in the first place. They drew West Ham. They beat Bodo Glimt again. So, like I said, they're 17th place, a point worse than United. But where they have had the advantage, sir, is recent record. Unbelievable. We are winless in our last 6, including 3 losses this season. This is what scares me the most. Now, the odds of a team you losing 4 times this season is pretty low. But that being said, I feel like they've had our number. They've had a number for a reason. And even when they haven't been good, I mean, they trounced us this year. And they scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, that League Cup 4-3 was brutal. The 3-0. Again, this is Tottenham. Like, we're used to laughing at them. We still have them in the league, but it's going to be, I feel like they got goals. United are going to just score. Look for Højlund to get his scoring boots on. Player to watch, sir.
I'm doing Brennan Janssen, the 23-year-old Welsh winger. He's been in fine form this season, stepping up for some of his players who have been suffering for form. I think he's their top scorer in the league at the moment, even above Solanke. And then let's look at 11 from the Villa game on Friday, the same day we played. Now, Ange rested. He did the opposite of what Ruben Amorim did. Ruben played a lot. Basically, he started his strongest 11 and advanced to the final on Wednesday. Ange did the opposite. He rested his best player. Solanke was on the bench. Richarlison was on the bench.
Basuma, yep.
Brennan Janssen was on the bench. Bentancur, like his starting goalkeeper, Vicario, was on the bench. So everybody effectively that needed to be rested will be rested. So
Son played. Obviously, he needs fitness. He's going to be in the final. Reguilón, former Manchester United player, got to feature. Look, they got a good bench here. Tons of rotation. Is not going to be indicative of who plays in the final. You're going to see Van der Ven. You're going to see Son. You're going to see Solanke. The question is Brennan Johnson. Who plays 10 between Richarlison, Brennan Johnson?
There's a rumor Pedro Pero might pushed up into 10, and he plays Spence at right back. Now, that's just what I heard in the forums because he would offer like the ability to break up play in an advanced position for them and turn the ball over, which could be dangerous. You could see that happening. So
regardless, it's going to be...
It's all about tactics.
They're gonna come out, and I feel like this is a key tactical advantage. Amorim knows what Ange is going to do. Like, there's no doubt he's just going to go for broke.
Yeah.
And so, does Amorim take a playbook out of another Portuguese manager, right, and play?
Hopefully the special one you're talking about.
And play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. You got to win. I feel like Ajax was the same way when we played them with Mourinho.
They were a good team.
They're a good team. They're not going to be as I feel like Tottenham gets so aggressive that they're reckless, and I think you just need like an Ahmad, Bruno connect to like really take him. I just feel like we need to be like sitting back early in the final, and then waiting for Spurs to just like bust along, and then you can kind of hit them on the counter. You got to that first 20 minutes is we got to absorb it, lock it down, and then as the game opens up, take our chances. But Amorim can't just go toe-to-toe. We can't be like, oh, no, we want to take the ball to you. I feel like we have to just know what Tottenham's going to do and then counteract that.
I agree because they're a better scorer, this team. Like their frailties are actually defensively because he plays such an aggro setup. He plays so aggressively on the front foot. I think sit back, absorb pressure. That's why you got to play Ugarte, Casemiro as the duo, just sucking all that extra aggression in the middle of the pitch. And then, like you said, I would play... We'll get into 11s in a little bit, but I would play Ahmad and Garnacho because both those players can beat individuals on the break and they can score goals, things that Højlund cannot do. And Højlund has shown. If we were playing a German team, Spanish team, French team, I would play him. But he gets bodied in the Premier League, and they have very good Premier League center backs in Romero, so they're going to be dangerous, and he's not going to be able to play the whole, patty cake bullshit. We need someone that's going to go and be able to break them for pace over the top.
Referee Felix Zower. He's back after a 2006 ban for taking a 250-pound bribe.
250 pounds. That's it. That's cheap.
It's crazy that I'll tell you what. You're a good ref when you can accept a bribe and come back from that because there's a lack of good referees. This referee, he did the match that he refed United in. I forget. It was like a 2-1 result. The team escapes me.
Sociedad?
No, it wasn't Sociedad.
This season?
I forget the opponent, but it was a 2-1 game. There was a controversial penalty, but the fact that his style is more important, right? He's known to letting players play. Like, that's what we want. We need someone to let players play. Tottenham, they're going to be soft. They're going to be diving, rolling around, and he's quick on VAR reviews, which is important. So I think he'll keep it moving. There's nothing really to see here from Felix on the referee front. So I grade it probably a B minus.
I'm just happy it's not an English ref, because the English refs are fucking biased. They're not good. They blow the whistle too much. They over-engineer the games. He will let the game play. That's what you want. You don't want a team affected in a way where they just, every time they fall over, they get a whistle blown. So I want the game to just play it out, let them play, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So shouldn't be, something that breaks our back. But the hope is that the ref is not something you talk about after the fact. That is the mark of a good ref. The less you're talking about him, the less of an impact he had in terms of just like being, the face of the result. And that's not what we want. Let's get into starting 11.
Let's hope there's no big red cards,
no
big penalties. Right? That's ultimately like let them play. Like let them play. I'm like a big let them play guy from a refereeing perspective. United starting 11. This is huge. I would argue this is a really difficult test for Ruben Amorim because all of a sudden all these players got fit. They got fit in a way where we didn't get to see them, and the team's been so volatile in the league. I felt like he rotated when he should have gone strong. I feel like he played strong when he should have rotated, and there was just too much chopping and changing in the league where we never used that to get a base of like good football with the new players under his system and understand who should be. Because like Mason Mount didn't do well. Mason Mount and Bruno coming in deep in midfield didn't look good against Chelsea. So now what do you do in the final? Like I just felt like he changed too much. Maybe do Bruno, Diallo, Højlund, Casemiro, Ugarte. The fact he benched Ugarte, like I just feel like this was a little too much chopping and changing and inconsistency from the manager. So it's all up in the air right before a final.
No, I think the tactics of how he both lines up initially in the game and adjusts depending on how things go with Spurs set up. That's going to be the game. As much as it's individual players having a big moment, I was talking about this with you, like our big three players, Bruno, Magoo, and Casemiro, if they have big games, we win. But at the same time, I think his tactics are key. Who does he play in those holding two positions? Who does he leave on the bench to affect the game later on when we know we're going to need a goal? And then, obviously, like, what do you do with Højlund? Do you play him or not? And who do you play for the new? There's a lot you could go because we have choices, we have options. You also have Euro and Delit. They're both a fight.
Yeah, but you gotta get. But Casemiro Ugarte. Then right game before he like swaps it out, and that doesn't give Ugarte confidence. Bruno didn't look good playing there, and then it's like Garnacho.
They've gotten used to it another way.
Bruno playing a 10. Bruno, he switches out last second. Garnacho's been starting. It's been like he's been getting him behind. He's been getting the chances. He hasn't been converting. Like then he just changed it. Mount came on, looked great as a sub. Then he puts him on to start. It's just been too much. But like Mount didn't earn enough to start. And so now he starts him, and it's like I felt like this was the final. Okay, better way to describe it. He played this
for the final.
He played this 11 as a test for the starting 11 for the final, and he came back being like, I have to go back to drawing board. I don't know my starting 11 for the final. That's the worst case scenario. It happened, and I feel like there's too many questions right now where it's like you need Casemiro Ugarte.
You do.
The fact he flopped on that I didn't like. Mason Mount isn't ready to start there just because the chemistry, the attacking, like he's a great sub, tons of energy. Garnacho Ahmad is who you need to be getting in there together. Starting from the top, Højlund's got to play. Then it's Diallo. Then it's Garnacho. It has to be Casemiro. The problem is Casemiro Bruno, if you played him there, apparently Ugarte's out. He hasn't played well. Ugarte has kind of shown some moments of weaknesses. Mazraoui, Lindelof, you got to move. Delo has to come in. Maz goes to the right center back. Dogu, Luke Shaw, Maguire, and Onana. That's kind of how I would be thinking about the final.
Yeah, and if I don't think Delo, that's a stretch given he's not at fitness. He probably isn't in a position to start the game. You drop Maz to that back three. I would move Dogu over, push Shaw up, and then one of those two is like Euro. They're going to be ready for the final. Like either Euro, Delit, one of those two.
It's not known. That's not.
We have no idea, but I'm just saying. Game day.
I'm assuming that he's not ready. Like I would assume those guys are not ready. Assuming they're not ready.
It's going to be this then. It's going to be that back five, I would think.
I would almost change my mind and be like Casemiro, Ugarte, Bruno, Garnacho, Højlund. I think that's kind of what Ahmad, huh? I'd put him on. I'd bring him on Because you can always make
hard,
the
dude.
adjustment
This is
to bring
hard. It's
Bruno.
not straightforward because there's been so much poor play from United that it's not obvious what to play because I think he's.
But
like you
did
said, he's
Ahmad
still-
look that like? Did Ahmad? So if you think of how Tottenham are going to play the Garnacho route one, like that's why you need Bruno up there. That's why you need Garnacho there, and then you can always bring Ahmad on to be a game changer. You can always bring on Mount to be a game changer. You can always move Bruno into the 2 to get more aggressive. I think you want to start conservative.
I agree with that.
What you know, those players have been playing together the most, and you build that base, and then you go from there. That's kind of as boring as it sounds. Even as a fan, seeing that 11, I wouldn't be too thrilled. But it's almost like there's stability in that, and then you kind of add the game changers from that base.
Dude, no one cares. I don't need excitement. I just want a result. That's all that matters. This is about winning. That's all the thing that matters about the cup. It's like, I think you go for stability first because they're going to come out guns blazing. Biggest game since their Champions League final. They're going to come out so hot that we need to just absorb the pressure, especially depending on who your back 3 is. If you have Lindelof, you need both the muscle in the midfield with Ugarte and Casemiro bailing them out, bro. Because you're going to have Son running at him and Mames on the left, on the right side, our right side, their left. Like that's terrifying. Terrifying. The odds have tightened, sir. The odds have tightened. The odds to lift the cup. Excuse me. We're the favorites. That's terrifying. Yeah, that is terrifying. Minus 118 for United to lift the cup. Plus 100 for Spurs. Good Lord.
That means people are betting Tottenham to win. The Tottenham odds have come down.
They have.
The Manchester United odds are coming up. So the money's kind of moving to Tottenham because if you watch it, United haven't been playing well.
We have not.
Sir, big score
up.
prediction. You need to get a score here right because the game is running away from you.
No, I think you get a correct one or it's over. I hate to say it. I think we lose this final. I think Spurs are due.
Whoa.
2-1 Spurs. I do. I just mentally, I just don't
Really?
see us winning.
Like-
I do,
like,
bro.
that's-
I do. It sucks.
We watch every game. How many podcasts we do in a year? Like 100 pods, and you're
100
going to
pods.
come in here in a final, and you're going to predict an L?
I think we're gonna lose.
gonna predict
I
it
think
out?
we're gonna lose, and I still have a chance to win.
I
though.
think we're going to lose, but I'm going with the big man.
Let's go.
Look,
Come on, baby.
like
I want you to
you're
bury
the
me.
Muppet. Like
I want
play
you-
the Muppet. Like
No.
I'm the.
No,
You
but
know,
I really think we're gonna lose. I hate to say it.
No,
I do
like,
think we're gonna lose.
I'm okay. I'm
Make me feel better,
saying.
brother. Make me feel better.
I'm
Make
saying
me
we're
feel-
going to lose, and almost mentally preparing for the loss. But in my heart of hearts, we're Manchester United. Like we don't go to finals and roll over like bitches like Tottenham does. It's in our DNA. Our players will rise to the occasion. I do think the manager can bottle it with the 11. Like that Chelsea 11
No,
is
11's
no
everything.
good.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And if he went with sort of the structure that I had said, the one that's been working in Europe and the base players who've been around, and then adds the game changers from there, you can see a real dangerous situation for United to like hold and then really bring on the killers, right? Even if you start Ahmad and you bring on Garnacho and Mason Mount, like we have better quality coming off
Kobe
the
in the
bench
box.
and growing into the game.
We do.
And I feel like United has that. You look at Lyon, like we're destined. It's like written in the stars. The red card
I
in
know.
Bilbao.
I know.
Like you never deny
3 goals in
Manchester
7
United.
minutes.
You never
3 goals in
deny
7
Manchester United. I'm going to Manchester United to win
Come on, baby.
European Cup. Ruben Amram, like just I can see Amram with the trophy.
Can you? I can't. I see fucking
I see
Ange.
him, like-
I see Ange. I see Ange.
I see Sadonge getting sacked, and I see Amram smiling, big smile. United-
Ratcliffe. How happy would Ratcliffe be? He'd be the happiest guy
But-
there, bro.
The ruse continues. United slips. It does winning this help us? We think it does, but is it more just keep getting out of jail free?
Definitely.
Never figure it out. Just
Definitely.
like keep getting away. So that theme can also continue as well. United to win. Always back my boys to win, sir. Can't believe you predicted it at all.
I think it's a psychological hedge, so I could just, it's a little easier when we get bitch slapped by a bunch of fucking
Played decently against Chelsea. We obviously lost, but Chelsea are way better than
way
Tottenham.
better.
You
Way
know,
better. We do, like I said, we have the players. We're Manchester fucking United. If our
we
players
just
show
don't
up,
have the
we
system.
win.
We don't have the chemistry. It's like
No, we
that's why
don't.
he's mixing
still,
too
no,
much
he,
now.
he is. It's
He's like he's tinkering too much.
he's a tinkerer.
No, it's a balance. Like Ten Hag never changed.
No, he didn't.
Amram's like changed too much, and I feel like there's negatives to both at the end of the day. But look, if you like the American Devils, please support us on YouTube, like and subscribe to our channel. We've been going all year.
All year.
This is it.
All
This
year.
is the final. It's gonna be like
18
glory.
losses.
or
18
just,
losses
like,
18 losses in the league, bro. It's like we've
it's
been
gonna
at
be
38
like
points.
it's gonna be glorious, or it's gonna be backbreaking defeat. Right? It's gonna be backbreaking defeat.
Oh.
I Villarreal has to be corrected. Like I need a big performance out of these lads. I think they'll get up for it. Sure, the shirt. The Manchester United shirt can feel heavy, but in a final, I feel like it lifts players up. Let's just hope for that. Please subscribe, comment below, let us know what your score prediction is for the match. Also support us on Patreon, patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. Go the extra mile. Join the best community ever. Grab some merch. You need it. We need this luck for the final. Also check out our website at americanreddevils.com. Got a whole article running down Amram versus Ineos and all the controversy at the club as of late. And make sure to leave 5-star reviews, sir. Tell them about it.
It's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself, and we're still giving away free merch. Just write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, send a screenshot. Excuse me, americanreddevils@gmail.com. This season can be heartburn. Agita. With your mailing address, and I'll personally pick back and ship some free ARD gear, send it right to your door anywhere in the world. Keep those 5-star reviews coming. They go a long way. We appreciate all the American Red Devil community. It's been a tough season, but we've appreciated everybody supporting us as we've gotten YouTube.
We're all in.
We're all in, baby. Come on. Come on.
Europa League Final, baby. We're all in. Give us our top 10 cities last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? How you doing? Dublin, Ireland, Chicago, Illinois, Oslo, Norway, Los Angeles, California, Manchester, England, New York, Brooklyn, New York, Melbourne, Australia, Orlando, Florida, and last but not least, Portland, Oregon, sir. Shout out to the Dubliner in Boston. This guy, have a go. I bet they're going to be up for it. All the Manchester United bars around the United States and around the world are going to be up for this game. We got to show up. We got to bring it. Let's do it. Let's win it. Let's win the fucking cup.
Sir, we've seen it all. We've won the lot. We're Manchester United. We are never going to stop. Let's go.